Hey guys, welcome back to some Raid Shadow Legends. Today's video, we're going to be looking at two of the most pivotal heroes that we have within Raid and really deciding who we're going to build out first and how we're going to really do this. Now, the first one we're going to break down and we want to look at is the Deacon Armstrong. So for me, Deacon Armstrong has been an absolute game changer with the skills and abilities he possesses. It is pretty impressive. We have him at 5 stars. We have him at epic. Hopefully we can get some relics in there. Hopefully we can also get some blessings. But when we start breaking down these skills and abilities that this hero does possess, it is really big. Now, the first one, Mace of Contempt. This applies Leech, which can provide healing for your heroes. And of course, dead heroes do no damage. We've said this for a while. So being able to place that Leech debuff on there and allowing to heal your systematic, especially in bosses where you only have one single target, can definitely provide some additional healing in there. The big one for him is the Sweeping Retribution. This attacks all enemies, so this is an AoE, has an 80% chance of placing a 60% defense decrease debuff for 2 turns. Now, this is super important. 60% decreased defense, of course, is the big buff or the big version that we see of this. And it also provides, as you're building this up, a cooldown down to 3 turns, meaning you can actually put this up considerably. And looking at a 15 and a 20% buff chance, when you do unlock these skills, you are going to have a 100% chance of placing this up for 2 turns. Remember, when you have it maxed out to level 6, it is going down to 3 turns, meaning you only have 1 turn that this is not going to be up. Now, with that being said, the combination of A3, really a turn manipulator, a really big champion to build out, fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%, decreases the turn meter of enemies by 15%, but grants an extra turn. So of course, he's going to be getting a lot of extra turns out of this every time he is using this. So every 3 turns, he is getting an extra turn, which can allow him to use another ability with that extra turn, making it very imperative. As you can see, we have this at level 3. And also the big thing that I recognize with him is when we start looking at PvP, when we look at some of the content in here that is very important and very imperative when it comes to boss builds, is the speed in all battles. Now, this increases the ally speed by 19%. Remember, this is percentage-wise, so the higher that you have built and the more speed that you do put on these champions, everyone in combat, so essentially, you want to get them at a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning that you are using and cycling through 2 of your abilities in their full rotation based on the amount of speed they have versus the enemy doing 1 rotation. And this is also massive in PvP. For me personally, I put on this aura on a majority of my heroes when we're going through combat. And when I've done, and since I've done it, I've been able to push a ton of levels in all of the game modes, all of the towers, all of the progression. We've been able to make a lot more progression with running the speed buff. Now, a very similar variation of this that we literally just got 2 days ago, High Katoon. So this one, a little bit different of a build, but overall very similar when it comes to the skills and abilities. In here, we have a speed decrease. So instead of giving that very big speed buff that we see, this is a decreased speed. Instead of having that turn manipulator on this one or the leech that we just seen of Deacon Armstrong, this is going to be a decreased speed. Now this, you have to be imperative and you have to be important because there are some places where this debuff will not work. And I don't think some of the bosses, you can't manipulate the speed in there. You can increase the speed on your team, but you cannot manipulate some of the speed. And even when you get down here, because this only has a 25% chance, this takes it to 30, this takes it to 40. So you also do have a lot, or a little bit less of a chance to get this decreased speed off very early when you're cycling through here because it's not at that 100% chance. You have a you know, kind of an RNG factor when it comes to building this up in the entirety. Then we look at L2. Now this, I do need 1 more star for. Builds the turn meter of allies by 15%, places a 15% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. So this is very similar and this overlaps. And the reason why I'm not kind of running them together is if you remember Tagore does have that speed buff. This would just be an overlap for the speed that's in there and allowing it to adjust. And again, changing up and adjusting the turn meters. And then the third one in here, attack all enemies, 50% chance of decreasing the turn meter by 15%. Now you can also see that when we start getting down here, another 10, another 25. So we got what, 25, 35, a 40% chance, which again, not really as high as Deacon Armstrong is. And he does, or she also does have the exact same aura, the 19 speed in battle. So I feel like running one team with Deacon, running one team with High Katoon really will be important to do in a lot of different game modes. Being able to maximize this, and then of course unlocking those blessings, going to make a really big difference. Now they do need very similar gear sets, so I was kind of looking at the accuracy, looking at the speed, very, very important for all of them. You can see that we are running a speed set on here. Also do have this boots, which is a 6-star level 16 speed boot, so we do have the speed kind of maxed out on here. Even though we're not using this 4 artifact set with the counter attack, I have to, in early game, it is imperative to start stacking speed because, like I said earlier, he has this big speed buff, which is going to be further amplified by here. Even at speed, it's at 162. Want to try to get him around 200 as we're continuing to add a lot of these artifacts and a lot of different things, because I farmed a lot of these out, as you can see right here. Even looking here, I just literally put this one on here. I'm saving the one that we have right here because this is for Alice. Also, when it comes to the banner, this one is for Alice as well. Got to get him up to 6 stars, got to get him built up a little bit further. But you also have to remember that being the support, epic support, even looking at High Katoon, epic support, they are not as important when it comes to having those very, very high level stars versus your damage dealers. When we start thinking about the support heroes and when we look at the skills and abilities they possess, not as important to have the stats, not as important for the damage wise, for their skills and abilities to work just like we've seen. So out of these two, I feel personally that I'm going to build up Deacon Armstrong just a little bit higher. Now, of course, when it comes to faction wars, when it comes to a lot of different content, does make a really big difference because there are so many heroes, so many champions within this game itself that you do have to build out to a much higher level. You can see right here, we do them again at max HP. Now we're also going in and we are clan versus clan right now. So the Altar of Souls, I want to hop in here. I want to do some summons. We actually got 3 of these stones, getting some of the coins out of a bunch of different game modes. Fingers crossed we get something good out of here, guys. The first one, 10 tournament points out of there for Bulwark, the 2-star perfect soul in there. These, we could save these till we have essentially the up or the 2x chance. I want to go ahead. I want to use these because we only have 3 of them. And again, we've been kind of getting the coins. I was hoping we would get something good out of there, but Flinger, we just got. Now, we also built out Alice a little bit further. So Alice is going to go to 4 stars on here. Now, I built Alice out to be an absolute nuker, putting a ton of damage dealing attributes on her. And we just continue to build her out further. You can see as soon as we do get 1 more star on her, 1 more of the ascended stars, we can actually build her out to 5-star ascended. And that is going to be crazy. Now in here, you can see Alice Split Soul. Oh, that is ultra expensive, guys. Again, that is the Split Soul for Alice, which we already have that Split Soul for Alex. So I'm not sure that would go to a 6-star, but look at the cost of those. We have not even seen any of these at all. The Eternal Souls, we haven't farmed up the Fortress enough. We also have Yugo in here, which is very cool because I do have Yugo as well. Haven't seen any of the other champions that we've seen, but Waken-wise, we also do have one other one, which we do have High Katoon. This is another one. We did pull one of these, so we're going to be able to use this Awaken, just going through the summon. So both of these, again, unlocking the blessing, unlocking the abilities in here. Blessings are really, really strong, and they do stack a lot of stats on there. Also have the Courtier in here. We did get the 3-star Courtier, Perfect Soul, so I'm going to have to wait to see exactly what that looks like to build it out a little bit further. Now, for me personally, clan versus clan, you can see 77 versus 681, 778. So we are winning this one. And looking here, guys, the Potion Keep objective, 2x the points. They are crushing it, but look at campaign, look at clan points. I mean, we're still winning this one. Now, I did notice also that when it comes to clan versus clan, personal rewards, we are almost to and just started milestone number 3. But you can see in here, you will only get personal rewards if your clan wins. That is very, very important, guys, to note that all of these personal ones, even going through all of these different tiers, you will only get the rewards if you win within here. So if you do not win, you are not going to get any of these personal rewards. I could use all of this energy that we have in here. And you'll also notice that it shows points earned individual tier in previous tournament with personal rewards, lowest 93, the highest 155. So as we continue and as we make progression within here, we can get higher milestones going through progression just based on where we're at. Now, me as a member of the guild, And it's sad to see, guys, when we have, a couple of players that are just holding it back, even here on the enemy side, or the other clan side, we have two players. We have two players also in here that are not contributing anything. Now, I am still at a very low level. I still consider this account pretty early game. And as you can see, we just eclipsed our 20,000 points. Now, for me, because we are lower level, because we are farming on much lower content, it's hard to hit, right up here where we're at 78 or 122. That is an insane amount of points that players are farming out of here for the clan versus clan. But even looking here at 16 at 20 versus what I look at and kind of measure it by, 16 on their team is at 12,000. So I'm definitely pulling my weight in the clan versus clan. And that is definitely where I want to be, guys. I don't want to be the one that is bringing the clan down. That is the reason why I'm so active in so many of these events, including the tournament right now, Spider Tournament. 1 day, 9 hours left. You can see we already picked up our Rhino. That is exactly what we wanted, was the fragment for the Rhino. And we're almost done the exact same with the event in here. Champion training, we have 2 days, 7 hours. We are just about to turn the corner right here and trying to get the other fragment down here of Uzane. That will give us 50% or 2 of the fragments we need to build these out. Now we need a total of, what is that, 400 fragments to get the 4 copies. If we do, and if we happen to, as a free-to-play player, pull out all 4 copies, we'll be able to do the fusion within here. We're just going to have to make sure that we're farming up enough to get these guys to 5 stars, but also farming up enough to get to the point of getting all the purple stars. I'm not too worried about getting the level 50s. We have a ton of void potions and also just regular farming, so I'm not worried about that part. The big hurdle in here is going to be getting all of those 5 purple stars, which means we're going to be farming out a lot of the towers. And I don't know if it shows the fusion in here. I'm going to have to look exactly what we need to build in here to get these copies. I'm wondering, and I don't know off the top of my head, which potions we're going to have to farm, because you can see in events and tournaments, but I'm going to have to research and look at what towers we have to farm. So essentially going in here and going within the dungeons itself, what keeps we're going to have to farm to make sure, because worst case scenario, when you're going through here, you start getting the copies, you don't have enough of your potions, or worst case, the keep is actually closed during those days to not be able to get the copies or get those potions you need to get those 5 stars. I don't want to be stuck with those. That's why I'm trying to really push this, going through and maxing out, going through with the champion training event. Dungeon divers, we're doing this as well. But as you can see, guys, the fragment is here. This is another one we have to, and we have been farming like crazy. Once I go in there, once I start building these up through the dungeon divers, again, kind of double dipping the events in here. Want to make sure we're making progression to get this fragment as well. Going through and getting these. Now, gear enhancement is coming. I've been saving all of my silver. We're at 2.64 right now. Just going to save up the silver to see what we can do. Saving all the resources, saving everything for the enchantment event. Well, we're farming all of the content just kind of over and over and over. Have to make sure, again, that we do have the potions that we need, even looking at the potion mixer, making sure that we have the potions we need to actually build out all of these champions in the entirety. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.